Hi guys, it's Talha here again. So today what we are going to learn will be about do while loop. In the last video we covered while loops, for loops. So today what we're going to learn will be about do while loops. Then we are going to learn about break and continue statement in loops, and then at the end I'm going to discuss the problem. Sir Saif gave us today a problem, and we are going to make a program about that problem. Alright, so first let's discuss what is do while loops. So do while loops. So what is a do while loop? As we discussed earlier about while loops, what are while loops? In while loop, the structure of a while loop is you have a while loop, you have a condition here, you have a statement as the body of the while loop, and then you have the update statement. For example, you have a count, and then you update it, you increment it or decrement it. Then you have for loop, in which you have initialization of the variable equals 1, for example. Then you have the condition over here, and then you have the update statement over here. So you have all of the three state initialization, condition, and update statement in the same line. But as in the case of do while loops, we have the body of the loop, or you can say, yes, the body of the loop and the update statement. We write them first, and then, so here we're in the body of do, or the reserved word do, we write the body of the loop, and then after writing that we write the reserved word while, and then we write the condition over here. So in any case, even if the condition is false in the first place, for example, we say that I equals 20, and here we say the condition is, for example, I is less than 20. So, but here I is 20. If we were in the while loop or for loop, the body of the loop the body of the loop wouldn't have uh, been executed, because uh, the condition is false here and here in the for loop. But in a do while loop, as we can see, the body of the loop executes at least once before checking the condition. So even if the condition is false in the first place, the body of the loop will be executed at least once before checking the condition, and then it will check the condition after executing it once, that the condition is false, and then it will terminate. But the body of the loop will at least execute once. So that was about do while loop. Now so as I said, the structure, you have do, you have the body here, you have the update statement, for example, count plus plus right here, and then you have the while, the reserved word while, and you have the condition over here. Now let's discuss what are break and continue statements. So what are break and sorry if I'm writing the spelling wrong, continue statement. So what is a break statement? For example, you have a loop, and if certain conditions are met, or if, for example, you use an if else statement within the loop, and if the condition of your if the the so the expression in the if statement is false, and you want to jump out of the loop, means that you just want to exit the loop, because the expression in the if statement became false. So that's where you use break statement. that's where you use break statement. So whenever I so whenever what do you call it, uh, compiler sees this break statement, it immediately jumps out of the loop or exits the loop after immediately after seeing this break statement. So where do we use it? We use it when we want to exit the loop immediately when certain conditions are met. When we don't, for example, when we don't want this certain event to happen or certain condition to be met and it meets, and then so then we use this break statement to exit out of the loop as soon as possible, so we can have other statements be executed after that, after we exit the loop. Now let's discuss what is a continue statement. So for example, so what is the function of a continue statement? So what it actually does is, for example, we have a loop, we have a while loop, here we have a condition, and then here we use if else, here we use if else. So here we have a condition. If this statement is met, so we if this condition is true, we have an appropriate message for the user, and then we use break statement, for example. Else, so else, here we use continue statement. So what it does, it immediately stops the iteration, and it again goes to the condition of the loop to see if it's true, and then it will again. So for example, if the there's a while loop, and here's you use a continue statement after some body here. So after the compiler will read this continue reserve word, it will immediately stop. It will skip all the statements in the body of the while loop which are after this continue reserve word, and it will immediately jump to the condition again to repeat an iteration. After this continuous reserve word is seen by the compiler, it will immediately jump to the condition again. So that way it skips all of the statements underneath, and it just checks the condition of the while loop or any other loop again to see if it's true, and it will iterate again, and if it's false, it will just terminate over there. Now let's discuss the problem. Okay, so that was about break and continue statement. Also for example, in while loops and do while loops, in while loops and do while loops. Uh, so when you use a continue statement in these two loops, the counter or the update statement may or may not be read by the compiler, or the counter or your counter may or may not be updated. But in the case of for loop, when you use a continue statement at the end or anywhere you want continue statement, the update counter or the counter you want to be updated with will always be updated, because all of the three initialization, condition, and update statement are in the same line. So after the continue statement, it will come over here. It will come over here after the continue statement, and it will update the counter, and then it will check the condition, and then it will again iterate the the loop. So in the case of while and do while, the counter may or may not be updated, but in the case of for loop, it will always update, and then it will jump to the condition of the loop. Now let's discuss the problem Sir Saif gave us today. All right. So what problem he gave? So the problem he gave us today was that what we had to do, we had to, for example, prompt a user to input a name or any word which he inputs, then we have to output the number of vowels, that is i.e. a, e, I, o, u. So so the program or program should output these vowels, the number of vowels used. So our program should output the number of vowels uh, there are in the name or the word their user has just inputted. So how do we make the program? So first of all, we need the logic about the okay. So let me just write the int main. Sorry, int. I'm just writing from int main. Here we have a bracket. All right. So I will declare number. Okay, int. I'll declare uh, int. I'll declare a counter. Int counter. Then I'll declare a string, or you can declare a character as well. I'm just declaring string. I'm gonna do letter. So string has letter, int has a counter. So and then I'm going to do uh, a while loop. In while loop I say in while loop I do if okay, so here I am going to use a flag a flag a flag while loop where you have condition like this. So if letter, oh no, sorry, I'm going to use a sentinel while loop. In sentinel while loop, let me recall, in sentinel while loop, you have a specific number or a character or something else, where if that condition, if the your uh, declared variable is met, or is that character or a number, the loop immediately stops. But while it's not that character, the loop iterate as many times as it can. When that character is that variable, the loop stops. So we have while letter is not equal to, for example, I say ampersand. So this is ampersand, letter is not equal to ampersand, and here I use if the condition, if letter is double equal. Remember, we don't use single equals because that's for the assignment of the variable, but here we are using the double equality operator to compare. If letter double equals a, or letter double equals capital A, because the user also can enter a capital A instead of small a, so we need to output that as well, because this is a vowel as well. The capital and small letter both are vowels. Or letter double equals a e, or letter double equals capital E, or letter double equals I, or letter double equals capital I, or letter double equals O, or letter double equals capital O, or letter double equals U, or letter, I know it's pretty long, but you have to do it, capital U. Then we output or see out uh, no then we, after this, we update the counter by 1, so that way we are going to know how many vowels there are. Else we want this loop to just continue. And here, if this here, so we see in no okay, so after this, after the while loop, we see in a number, we see in number, and here we declare counter and number as well. Oh, sorry. No, 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 no. We see in letter. Sorry, sorry, sorry. We see in letter, not number. So here we have declared string letter. So here we see in letter. After this we are here left with the if statement. So if the letter is equal to any of these characters, it will update the counter by 1. If not, it will just continue, and it will, as I stated before, it will again come and check the condition. If the letter is if the letter you enter again is not okay, here you see in letter, the letter you enter again is not ampersand, it will again do the loop. And when you want to end the loop or when you want to exit the loop, you just enter this character that is ampersand. So it will exit the loop, and after it exits, we see out the number of vowels are, and here what we see out counter, because the counter was being updated as it was reading all these variables. If those letters you enter were A, E, I, O, U, so it was keeping it was keeping updating this counter. So that is why we output the counter, and then we end L, and then we return 0. So here, if you try this program, it will output the number of vowels you have entered, and this is how it's going to work. Like when you will execute, when you will run this program, it will ask you, okay, I haven't written here, but it will ask you to enter a letter, and then it will ask you to, if you want to end the program, or if you want to end, or when you are done, you just have to enter this ampersand, and when you are done, you will enter this. It will show you the number of vowels. Alright guys, I hope this lecture helped you, and it was fun for me to give it as well. Thank you.